Hello.
Hi. Yeah, perfect. I will check the time. We should probably run for about 20-25 minutes, and then we'll have some time for questions as well. And there's a few people that will join us as they finish their food. They'll come. So, good. Welcome. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks for being
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
It's a pleasure having you here. I'm very excited by the conversation, finding out a little bit more about Anonymous for Voiceless, So-Called Truth, and also finding a little bit more about your own journeys and some interesting lessons or experiences you've had all through vegan activism. So maybe we could start by a quick introduction. This is a microphone, so you can just pass it around. Tell us maybe where you started, how you got involved in activism, and yeah.
Hello, my name is Ivana. I'm now vegan for 1 year. I was before vegetarian since I'm a little kid. I meet Avin last year in Biel. After this I go vegan. I go home to look to watch Game Changer and Love Health on YouTube. After this video I was a vegan. At my free times I make a lot of activism. I'm the organizer from chapter in Basel for baby. I go also to the vigils at Slaughterhouse in Önsingen all 2 weeks. I'm also the new organizer from the Önsingen Animal Safe. Yes.
Welcome.
So my name is Francisco. I am from Spain. I've lived in Switzerland since 15 years, and I'm vegan for the animals. For me, there's only one reason to be vegan is the animals, because yeah, you don't say I'm not racist because of the environment. You are not racist because of the ethics. I think environmental health is very nice, but it's secondary. And the most important thing is that you do speak for the voiceless, the beings, living beings that don't have the chance to defend themselves. And yeah, I'm with Animals for the Voiceless since 1.5 years. I was vegan 2 years, and I was doing my own thing, and then I met them in the street, and I decided to join them. And because I'm a sales guy, I like to talk with people, and yeah, I came very well into the team. And yeah, we organize events in Zurich once or twice a month, and I try to attend every time I can. And I recommend that you guys join the group and you decide to do some activism, because it's necessary for the animals. We need to do something for them. Okay.
Hello, I'm Danja. I'm 26 years old, and I was vegetarian. So then I realized that especially the milk and the dairy industry is so much cruelty. I would say it's more cruelty than the meat industry. That's why I went vegan, and also because of the health problems I had. Now they are gone away. Yes, and in 2018 I found with some friends of mine our own group to make street activism, like outreach-based activism. So we talk to people like Anonymous for the Voiceless do this, but we wear some animal masks. We do by our own, and for us it's like this.
It's like this.
And
Can you put it on just so we see the?
So we have from time to time, we have in different in different cities, we have some events. We make these masks, and then we go on the street to speak with people. Actually, we do activism in Zurich and in St. Gallen, and we are every time interested to build some new groups. So if you like to join us as an activist or as an organizer, just contact us. Genau.
I'm Simon. I'm vegan since May last year, and before I was an omnivore, so I was from one day to another I become vegan, so I skipped the vegetarian phase of most people. So yeah, the reason why I became vegan is primarily because of the animal abuse in the industry, and also the health reasons. The most important point was when I watched What the Health documentation on Netflix. I know who have seen it, and that was the point which really made me thought about many things, and I really started to investigate on my own. Then I watched all the documentation, Cowspiracy, Dominion, Earthlings, and several other movies about animal agriculture and everything. And yeah, that was the point when I changed my whole life, become vegan, became an activist, and was nearly every weekend on the street last year or since then. And in the spring this year, I joined also the organizer team from Anonymous for Voiceless in Zurich. So, yeah.
Wonderful. It's great to see your stories, your background, all very diverse, and maybe all coming to the same conclusion and supporting the animals through activism. I know a lot of us here are maybe a little more passive. We live that life ourselves, but maybe we're curious about what activism is. Maybe we have some negative opinions on, is that militant? Is it where's the line? How do we get involved? So maybe you could start by why is veganism important, and then maybe we can explore from there. Who would like to answer that?
Well, veganism I think is important because we need to reduce or eliminate the suffering in the animal industry, or eliminate the complete industry totally. Actually, we are not many vegan people. Not many people actually are able to make the connection, and if I could change, I always say if I could change, everybody can change. Because I was a guy who was eating meat almost every day, big steaks. I was traveling to Argentina and to Uruguay. I ate meat in the best, in the port of Uruguay, a very traditional place. And I was the typical guy who said I could never give up meat. Impossible. It's impossible for me to give up bacon, for example. And I ate so much bacon. And I met a couple of vegans through my life. One of them is here. I met Catherine about 10 years ago or something like that. And she was vegan already. And when she told me I'm a vegan, I thought, well, okay, whatever. It's like I didn't understand. And now I'm always telling her, why didn't you hit me in the head with that? No, she told me twice. She told me, but yeah, I was unconscious, and yeah, I think if I could make it, I think everybody can make it. And as I said, you ask why it's important. I think we cannot be perfect in our life, but we can do a lot to reduce the suffering. It's not about becoming holy spirits and walk, through the waters, but we can do a lot to reduce what the animals are going through. And I've been eating meat for around 40 years in my life, and I think now I owe the animals something, and I want to give them back.
Thank you.
Oh.
Maybe let's take a step further now into the two groups. So there's the so-called Truth and the Anonymous for Voiceless. Maybe a bit of background about what those groups are, what you do, kind of your mission, your objective.
Yes, I'm the organizer from Basel, from AV. Simon is the organizer from Zurich in AV. AV is an animal rights organization. When we have an event, we stay in a cube, the cube of truth. We wear these masks.
This mask actually is represents justice, because many people come and they ask us, what does it mean, this mask? And I would say it means, Gerechtigkeit, also justice, and that's why we show it.
Yes, in the cube we show videos from all animal industries and from slaughterhouses. Then we have outreach. They talk with people. They watch our videos. We don't hold people they are not interested. Yes, our mission is very simple. It's to destroy the animal industry with veganism. We have two founders, that's Asa and Paul, and we have a region organizer for the countries, and we have chapter organizer, me and Simon. Yes, that's Amy.
Which country did it start?
Australia.
Australia?
Yeah.
I'm here to present the Circle of Compassion. The Circle of Compassion is a small group. We are active only in Switzerland. We do nearly the same, or we have the same style like AV does, but I told before we wear some masks we made self, and also our idea how we want to do activism with other vegan people is we like to have less strictly rules and more personal responsibility. So our idea is that the organizer are not like a chef. We only do we make it possible that the event can go on, but it's on every event it's important that the people can tell us how they would get their ideas into, yes, and until now it works really good. Yeah, good.
Thank you. So if I understood that the Anonymous for Voices is an international organization started in Australia, well organized in the sense of country leads and then regional leads through chapters, and they do it a cube, kind of a square, and they wear those masks. Where the Circle of Truth is a Swiss organization, started in Switzerland, and it's the same objectives, but maybe a different approach to the Anonymous for the Voiceless. Excellent. Maybe some examples of events or activism that you've done might be interesting.
My biggest event that was this August in Schaffhausen. That was the first farm occupation. We go to the farm of pigs. The TV sender SRF 1 goes with us to film all and make documentation for TV. That comes in the last Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the evening, comes in the TV.
Sorry, but that was not Anonymous for the Voiceless, that was a
No,
different
that was not
organization.
from AV, that was for sure an illegal event. Yes.
No association with AV. Private event. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, our mission at this event was to film inside from the farm and to save 2 pigs. Yes, the farmer was not very fine with our idea. He left the farm very fast. The event was very friendly. We destroy nothing. We don't spray anything, and we don't use violence. Yes, and nobody of us go in arrest. Yes, it's important to know it was illegal. We don't support illegal actions. The Cube of Truth are always legal. We don't have problems any time with the police. Yes.
As we have permits by the city administration, and it's all legal. Our cubes and also the circle, that's all legal, and police can nothing do to us.
They can only look at us and ask questions. Sometimes the police come and they look at the images.
They can join.
Sorry?
They can join.
Yeah, well, I got to talk with a couple of them. I was once in Germany, in Freiburg, and there was like a demonstration from, I don't know, a different group, and there were like an army of policemen there, all in full monture, and then I got to talk with one of them, and he was very open, you know, I was very, yeah. The way we operate is that we show images from the animal industry. I always, when people come and they say, oh, you're showing animal abuse, and I say, no, this is not abuse. This is standard treatment.
The reality.
This is I always say, well, what are you showing? We're showing the reality, you know. And what happens there, what we show is actually just very standard thing. Very standard thing. For many people, it's too hard to watch. And when they get to and see it, many people understand almost instantly that almost all of them understand that what they see is wrong. Yeah? When they see that, when I ask them, we use the Socratic method because we don't tell people, you know, you have to go bigger, but we ask questions, you know, and we tell them. The first question normally is, do you know why we are here, or have you ever seen this footage before? And then we go from there, like, what do you think about this? Open questions. Sometimes I always like to do like closed questions, like, do you think it's fair or unfair? And then I can bring that to a new open question. And we have seen a lot of reactions. I mean, I don't know. We have many conversations every time. The queues they last for 3 hours, and we have many people coming. And sometimes we are also very touched by the reaction of the people because we make people cry in front of us. And you are also human, and you also feel, you know, that especially people also inside of the queue, the ones who are holding the computers, they see the reactions of the people and the faces that they do. People crying, tears, rivers of tears, and you also get touched, you know. And I'm not very empathic. I like to, you know, when I see somebody crying, I always tell somebody to hug them because I cannot do that. Anyway, yeah.
I want to say something to that. That was also on my first cube when I was an omnivore still. That was a moment when 3 or 4 little girls, maybe 14, 15 years old, were watching the footage of the screen I hold, and then they start crying, and it really has a big impact. If you see through the mask the eyes of the people that are watching, or even if they just walk by, you have maybe hundreds of people that just walk by, and you see they watch, and then I don't want to know something about that, and it really has a strong impact for yourself.
And big guys also.
In my opinion,
yeah. I want to say that I think this style of doing activism for the animals, I think for me it's the most efficient style to bring people to become a vegan. But also sometimes I think this change needs some other methods, like direct actions. Sometimes some things like Ivana said. That's why sometimes I also go not with circle of compassion. It's important. Circle of compassion don't do things that's illegal, but other groups sometimes I join. We go, for example, go to cope where they sell some meat, and we stand in front of the meat corner, and we hold some signs and pictures from the living beings, which are behind of us dead there in the corner. And last year we do it, and we taped our mouth closed, because we like to say that the animals in behind of us, the dead animals, don't have a voice and they never being heard. So we stand there that they have a voice now.
Amazing, thank you, very powerful stories. Where would you say, for maybe us here, where would be the next steps? How could we get involved? What would you recommend? Are we going to be in the supermarkets doing the same thing, or what would be your recommendation, and how can we start?
Yeah, first of all, everybody is invited to join one of our events, a Cube of Truth, or also a Circle of Compassion, what fits for you personally from the date and the location where you live, or what's next to you. And yeah, you can join the event, and maybe how you like, just stand by and look over the whole thing, how it runs, and speak to us, and just be around and speak with us and have a look how this works, and then make your own decision what you think about it, and maybe join one future event if you like.
So we can just turn up, we can decide at that point whether we want to get further involved, hold a camera, talk to people, or we can just observe and experience.
Yes, and we both organizations have Facebook groups, and that's our main organization tool. So if you want to join, you could join our group on Facebook. It's Circle of Compassion. There is a group and also a page.
Yeah, we also have a homepage for the people who don't like Facebook. It's www.circleofcompassion.ch
With minus.
Yeah, with slash. Yeah.
And and the AV groups are AV Zurich in Facebook, or AV Basel. We have in Biel chapter, Neuchâtel, Geneva.
Okay.
Expected again.
Well, I want to say that one of my favorite quotes is the key to success is action, you know, and the word activist is made by the word active, so you have to become active, and it pays back, and you know, I always say you can try, you know, try it, see if you like it, because you can always try. And in German, in Switzerland, they say man kann immer probieren. You can always try, and if you don't like it, then you can decide what you want. But I'm sure that it's going to be quite an experience, you know, because it's very impactful, especially the first time. It's very impactful.
Okay, last question, and then we'll open it up. Maybe is there any common arguments that you hear on the street that you could share with us? Maybe some funny stories, funny discussions that you've had, or interesting ones.
Yeah, I hear all day plants have feelings too. Then I say it's not the same if I kill you with a knife or I cut the tomato in half. But if you care about plants, you have to know that when you eat beef, then 1 kilogram beef, it needs 16 kilogram of plants. That means when you eat beef, you pay for mass murder on plants.
I also want to mention that it's very common in Switzerland to say, oh, I already know the problem, don't worry, I eat only bio meat.
Eat what? Eat what, sorry?
Bio-organic, local, and I would say, oh, bio, local, organic, green, They are all nice words, you know, but at the end, all animals go to the same place. And I asked them, okay, how are they killed, these animals? Oh, I don't know, are they killed with a knife or with a shot in the head? Oh, I have no idea. Okay, I think with a shot in the head. And I was like, okay, is that true? You know, we always ask questions. But many people think that the farmer, he kills the animals himself. But no, those animals are being sent to slaughterhouse, and no difference whatsoever. And well, this is a very common question.
When I do activism, I often hear the argument, a lion also eats meat. And then I respond to the question. I ask, have you ever seen a lion who's breeding animals, put them into a cage, feed them up, pay someone other to kill, and then the lion go in the kitchen and cook some pieces of the animal? I never have seen that.
One of the most common arguments is always, oh, I only eat less meat, only once a week or only once a month or whatsoever. But I often end, okay, well, what would you tell the one animal, even if you only eat once a year meat, what would you tell this one animal? Sorry, I have to kill you because I want to eat once a year a little bit meat. I want to have pleasure for 10 minutes, and so you have to die because of that for me. And yeah, that's no justification for that.
Thank you. Some powerful things for us to think about. I see that there's some cards here, I think, so if you do want to get involved and catch up with the guys afterwards, they have some cards as well to hand out. And maybe we see you at a circle of truth or a cube of passion. Cube of truth. Cube of truth, circle of passion. Save the animals, that's all. Wonderful. Okay, so we'll turn off the video and maybe then just have some questions now. So Yuri, do you mind hitting the stop button?
Sure.